I am so happy to see you here. Hi, Replay Warriors. I'm going to talk to my Replay Warriors first and my YouTubers because you get to see the very beginning of my live, whereas anyone else that's joining live on Facebook, where I'm actually recording this card class today, they kind of miss the first few seconds. So I just want to say hi. Thank you so much for checking it out. Thank you so much for joining me for this card class. Every Monday I like to come on and share 3 cards from a very specific bundle. And then I offer this card class to you if you're interested in getting the card kits for yourself. Hi, Patty and Jess. I see some friends jumping on, so I'm so excited. Please continue to say hi as you jump on. I love to know who's hanging out with me. I like to know that you can hear me and see me. And I also like to know what you think of the cards as I craft along. It makes it so much more fun if there's some social interaction. Hi, Deb Jurek. I don't always look at all of the comments. Once I get going in my craft space, I'm usually head down, stamping and gluing, right? So I do. Hi, Sandra Johnson. I miss you. I do try to check your comments randomly, and I also read them, and I love to read them. You guys make my day, I gotta say. I hope that my class makes your day, but your comments make my day too. So I am Julie Maxon, the main stamper, and I am a demonstrator with Stampin Up. And I live in Maine, USA, and I come to you every Monday at 7 o'clock is my current time for about an hour for a card class. Today's card class is the Ice Cream Swirl card class. So, full disclosure, you probably are going to want ice cream before I'm done because this is all about ice cream, and I know that sometimes when you see ice cream, you want ice cream. Now, this is a really fun bundle, and I'd love to know if you have this bundle. There are so many great samples about the ice cream swirl, and I just have to start off by saying it's on the cover. This is the cover bundle for the mini catalog. So let's get over to my workspace because we've got a lot to talk about, and I can't wait to dive into the ice cream with you. We're going to take a deep dive into ice cream today. I'm really excited about it. Okay, so as mentioned, the cover. This is the cover bundle, right? Like the cover of the magazine. It's so beautiful. There is a nice big ice cream on here. Now, what's kind of funny is it's on the cover, and then Stampin' Up! Buries it all the way on to page 33. No, 33? I thought I had 33. 33 was in my brain. Let's see. 37. It's even farther than 33. We were on 33 last week. So we go from the cover to page 37 in the mini catalog. Ice Cream Swirl Bundle. Now, what's really fun about this is you can actually make a shaped card with the cone die. Now, we're going to get into the shape, the fun fold shaping, the fun card is on Thursday. So these are just going to be 3 really sweet, right? Ice cream sweet cards today, and we're going to use the Ice Cream Swirl Bundle. Now, this is a photopolymer stamp set. I have everything mounted up to use today except for 2 sentiments. So I'm not thankful today. I'm not using thanks for everything. Truly, I am thankful. But those are the sentiments that I'm not using. I did go ahead and create another board for my dies. This is the 2nd week in a row. So you guys, I'm going to try to keep doing this every week. I have a die bundle and create myself a little fun book. So this is easy to do at home too. This is just a half sheet of cardstock, and I'm just taking the dies, and I like to do the dies in white, and then I'm putting them on a piece of colored cardstock that I choose. Last week I did the hot air balloon with a balmy blue base, card base basically, and then today I'm using crumb cake because I felt this was more cone-esque. Right? So you can see there are 10 dies here. This is the die that I was talking about where you can create a fun fold or shaped card with. So it's really awesome. So I did use this die. Now this one is, we're going to go into these a little bit during class. This is one that's going to emboss. So you can use this separate or you can emboss this, which is really awesome. You can layer your ice cream together. You've got a strawberry cherry. They may be hard to read here. You've got sprinkles. This is just my cutout of the sprinkles. I didn't want to glue all the sprinkles on here. There's a straw. There's a little wrapper for your ice cream cone. And then, I don't know, is this a cookie? Is this a donut? What is this supposed to be? I'm a little confused. I'm treating it kind of like a cookie, but it could be an iced donut. I don't know. It's a treat. And I'm all for treats. Like, I like anything sweet, so works for me. Okay, so I'm going to set these aside, but not too far aside, because we are going to be getting into those. So let's talk a little bit about your card kits today. So earlier I talked a little bit about Neapolitan ice cream. I'd love to know what your favorite ice cream is. Hi, Lori. Let me know what your favorite ice cream is in the comments because we're going to talk ice cream all day long today. I have for you 3 card bases, and I have vanilla, chocolate and strawberry. This is basically where I'm going with my class today. I kind of took Neapolitan ice cream and I decided I would design a card class based on these colors. Now you can see there's a little bit of bubblegum here. There's some pool party and a little bit of fresh freesia. This one has balmy blue. So I'm mixing in some other colors as well. So to get these card kits at home, this is the Ice Cream Swirl card class. Place a $40 order in my online store this week through Friday. You're going to get 6 card kits, which is 2 each of 3 designs, which is what this is right here. In these envelopes, I have stuffed 2 full card kits. You're going to have some embossed pieces, some die cut pieces, some punched pieces, all the good stuff. $50 order is going to get you the card kits plus the embellishment. So this week I am using these really cute little rainbow adhesive back dots. These are a candy, right? They look like candy. Do they not look like those little candies you would pop off and eat that run on that little paper strip? Again, sugar. Love the sugar. I love the sweets. So this reminds me of candy. These are really fun. They're gorgeous little colors too, right? So you're going to be getting a free pack of these if you spend $50 with me. You're getting 6 card kits, your embellishment, and a Sale-A-Bration item. Don't forget, Sale-A-Bration is leaving us in 10 days. That's not very long. My host code this week remains H6DEPC46. And if you have any questions on that, please let me know. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Deborah. Orange pineapple. Ooh, that's like a sherbet. That's awesome. Okay, so we're going to start out with very vanilla. So we're going to talk about the card kit because that's always exciting. And we're going to look at our very first card together. So here is a look at Hope Your Day is Sweet. Now this sentiment is really meant for me because sweet is like my middle name. I love the sweets, right? I love the sweet. I have the sweetest sweet tooth ever. So this is going to be our very vanilla card. And we're gonna bring in some pecan pie and some bubble bath, and we've got little strawberries here. So card number 1 coming right up. These envelopes are so jammed full of stuff. I have to be careful pulling them out. So I want you to notice that this is a very vanilla base, and this is very vanilla cardstock. So I wanted to match your envelope to your card base. So you will be getting 1 set of very vanilla. I'm gonna set those aside. I actually have my card base ready to go. And then we're just going to split these up. Now I did, this is vanilla for your sentiment. I punched this with the Pick-A-Banner punch. And we're just going to grab out all of these parts and pieces so that I can show you what we're going to do with them. So that if you get these kits at home and you take this class, or if you can cut paper by yourself and you want to kind of mimic what I'm doing, that's great too. I recommend not using dog hair. My dog hair is pretty much everywhere. So let's look at a little bit of the bones of our card. Now I chose this designer series paper because it reminded me a little bit of a cone, right? Like kind of like a waffle cone, I think is where I was going with this. Now on the opposite side, you may be wondering, where does this paper come from? If I flip this over and showed you the birds, you would know right away it's a Sale-A-Bration item. It's the Flight and Airy DSP. So this is one of your Sale-A-Bration freebies. So I know everyone's really enamored with the birds, but there are 2 sides to every paper. So we're using that on our card kit today. Now this paper right here is from the I've been using this yellow one a lot. This is the hot air balloon paper, and I can't think of the name of it right off the top of my head. Lighter Than Air. I had to look that one up. So Lighter Than Air has a really nice cute little bubble bath pink there. But if you really wanted to, maybe you're not making an ice cream card, maybe you're doing something different. You've got all these parts and pieces, so you can choose to switch these up if you wanted to. You could even, really, if you wanted to, you could use the bird paper. There's nothing wrong with little birds, right? So you've got lots of options here for sure if you're not looking to create ice cream. However, our class is about ice cream, so I'm going to show you how I made this really sweet card. Let's go ahead and put together the bones of our card here real quick, just so we can get all these layers out of the way. Now, you know, if you've been following me for a little bit of time, you know I love lots of layers. This one starts out with just really simple, right? We're layering our designer series paper on the bubble bath, and we're laying the bubble bath onto the pecan pie, and then we're going to put this right on our card base. So easy peasy right off the bat. You're just simply putting together some layers. I love this little look of the pecan pie into the bubble bath. The bubble bath provides that nice bright light in between the layers, and I wanted the vanilla card base because it makes it easy to stamp on the inside. So you don't need another layer on the inside of your card. You can just stamp away and have a lot of fun with that. But here is just the bones of our card, just like that. Easy and fun. So now we're going to talk about our ice cream and all of the parts and pieces that are going to go with our ice cream. Now I'm using 2 ink colors for this first card. I've got Pecan Pie and Bubble Bath. No surprise here, right? It kind of all matches really well. Now the ice cream stamp, the cone stamp and the ice cream scoop stamp, 2 that go together. They're pretty big stamps, so you do need a bigger acrylic block to put them on. If you don't have, maybe you have a stamping platform, you can do that too. And then because they're bigger, I'm going to just put my stamp facing up and bring my ink this way. And I still feel like I am probably twisting my ink pad down a little bit, and I'm catching ink along the top of my block. But as long as I don't wobble it too much, it's fine. And also it's not going to matter because I'm going to be die cutting this as well. So we're just getting that cone image on this piece, and I'm going to set that aside, and then we're going to bring in this piece right here while we have out the pecan. So you've got another piece of Very Vanilla. We're going to do quite a bit of stamping on this. Now we're going to bring in strawberries because we have 2 strawberries. I can already say I've smudged that side. I'm going to flip this over. So you're going to need a couple of strawberries, and then you're going to need the straw to go with. Now this is not like a joke, right? The straw or the cookie. Perhaps this is really supposed to be one of those little delicious cookies. That could be the thing too, right? So there is our stamping in. Oh nope, we have one more thing. Pecan pie. We're gonna do our sentiment. Hope your day is sweet. And I have this punched piece right here. This fits on here really, really nicely. So hope your day is sweet. We're going to just line that up. This is, again, photopolymer stamp, so it makes it a little bit easier to try to get it straight. I said try. I said, you know, it's never guaranteed, but we all try a little bit, right? Oh, you know what? We're going to leave this open one more time. I'm in such a rush to put pecan pie away, and really, we don't need to do that yet. Actually, I have the ice cream stamped in pecan pie. Now, I'm going to tell you a secret. Earlier today, I tried doing this little ice cream scoop here, Bubble Bath, and I just felt like it was way too light. It also looked a little bit more like cotton candy to me, which makes me think that we probably could make cotton candy cards besides ice cream cards. However, I wanted it to be a little bit different, a little bit browner. So I like to share these things with you while I'm actually doing my class, because then you can get some ideas too, right? It's not just like looking at some cards that somebody made and guessing what they did, because, you know, everybody can guess what I did. But if you're here hanging out with me, I love that you're doing that. Thank you so much. And now you're going to know I stamped off, and I'm stamping off on paper for a reason. Yes, I love my glass mat. Yes, it's easy to clean, but I feel like when you stamp off the ink, you stamp off more ink on paper than you do on the glass mat. So I liked it when I really want to stamp off. I'm going to keep a scrap paper for that purpose. So I have a lighter color of this pecan pie, and on purpose have a nice light color there. Now we can close up the pecan pie. Finally, right? We're going to get it back out. Don't worry. But first, we're going to do a little die cutting. So let me bring in my machine here, and we're going to bring in some of these fun dies. And they really are fun dies. Now sometimes there's stamp sets that have dies that you think, you know, I could use the stamp set or I could just use the dies. And then there's bundles where you're like, you really need both. So you have to have all of the things. So on this particular one here with the strawberry, there's only one strawberry, and doesn't matter, there's one straw, I'm only doing one straw. So I would be running this through twice because I have to do the strawberry twice. Now normally I don't like to run this through. I would cut this off because I don't like to run through my paper and crinkle it, but I'm going to do it this time because I really even don't need that extra strawberry. I have one set aside so that I can show you how I die cut it and coloring it. We're going to color that one with some blends. But I wanted to I do want to do a little bit of this with you though, because I want to show you the ice cream cone. The best part is really the ice cream cone. So we're going to bring this guy in here, and we're bringing in the die. Now you're going to notice that this die is longer than what I need, and my paper does not fill the entire die, and that's on purpose. I only need the bottom part of this. I don't need, I'm not making a folding card or a shaped card. So I'm going to just go ahead and pop this through. Now this is perfectly fine to leave that extra die on your clear plates. You don't have to have paper underneath of it. And what we're going to get is the base of our cone, just like this. Now this is where you would fold it over and have a shaped card. So what we're going to do is we're just going to snip this away because I feel like this extra is just a little bit more than we need. All right, so then we're going to move this side because we have some coloring to do. There's a little bit of coloring with this card. So I'm going to put this away. We're going to pretend that I've got everything that I need here. And we're going to pretend that it die cut really, really nicely, because pretending is sometimes the best way to go. So for this strawberry, I'm going to grab out some Stampin' Blends. I've got the Light Mossy Meadow. I've got the Real Red. So I've got light and dark Real Red. And then for the straw, I've got the dark Pecan Pie. So basically, I'm using the nib end to color with. I always use that end. I'm just going to color in. So the straw has these little spots in it that look like there's 2 places you could add color. Technically, there's 3. I'm just choosing a section of the straw to color in. So I get that nice little stripy look. That was easy peasy, right? Now for the strawberry itself, I start out with the Real Red, and again I'm using the kind of like the nib end here to color, and I'm just going to color this all in. Sometimes it's easier to color. Lori mentioned this the other day. Lori's on here. She's like, yep. I think when she was doing her cards in class, she said, I should have colored it before I die cut it, because once you die cut something that's this tiny, it is kind of hard to color in the parts and pieces. So I'm going to come in through with a stem with the light mossy, and then I'm going to come in with the dark Real Red, and I'm just going to catch. There's a line here on the side of the strawberry, and of course there's cute little dots in the strawberry too. So I'm just going to kind of color along this left side, just giving it some dark shading, and I'm just going to go ahead and kind of dot in. I'm not even hitting every little brown dot. Now because I've stamped this with Pecan Pie ink, it's going to kind of fuzz a little bit, and the lines are going to blur, so it is kind of cute that way. It's not quite the crisp outline that you get when you use Memento ink, and that's because of the makeup of the ink. So you can use your regular water-based ink and your blends that are oil-based. Just know that the lines are going to run and blur, so they're not going to be as crisp as if you used something a little bit different. So I did this earlier and I did a better job at it, I have to say. But I wanted to share with you, this is on very vanilla cardstock, and on my card you're going to see that I don't have an outline of vanilla. You can't see that, and that's because I chose on purpose. So I took my image and I basically colored the outside line, if you will, right, the outside leftover bit that runs off of the die. So I colored the bottom part in the red, so the strawberry has all that red going on now, and then I just took the green and I did the same thing with, I'm going to put this on here, you might even see it better. So I just kind of scribbled on some green here along the top. Now you've still got the outline, you've still got that little bit of stamping that kind of tells you where the leaves are in this, but I liked it much better. I liked it much better. I don't know if you like it better too. All colored in like this, so you have no outline, and this is versus with the outline. So I'm not sure which one you're a fan of, if you like the outline or if you like it fully colored. Now obviously fully colored is a little bit more realistic, but I know that, you know, everyone likes different things. So there's options for you there if you don't like the extra little lines on the outside. So you can take something and color them in, and it'll be just as good. All right, so let's finish up our little bit of the card here. I did bring in a sponge dauber. I'm going to bring my Pecan Pie ink back in. This is like being heavily used on this card, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to come in and I'm going to add some ink here along the bottom and sides of my cone. I don't have to go up too far because this ice cream comes down quite a ways, and it looks very refreshing and delicious right now too. So I'm just going to do this, and this is also going to help the fact that I didn't really, I stamped it fine, but I didn't die cut it straight. So once you add a little bit of inking along the outside edges, it kind of takes away the look of imperfection. It's kind of like when we put on our makeup, right? We cover up our imperfections with the paints and the colors and things. We're doing the same thing with our cards, really and truly. I'm going to just bring this in. I'm just kind of using my paper today. So I'm bringing in now the blending brush, Bubble Bath ink, and I'm just going to kind of come up into my ice cream scoop here. This nice little swirl of ice cream. It's super cute, right? And I'm just going to kind of bring this in. So I use the blender brush when I want a bigger, broader, kind of all over application. I left a little bit in the middle untouched, so it gives a little bit of a different color in the middle. I use the dauber when I want just a little bit of ink. So there are two different really great ways that you can add ink, whether using the blending brushes. Now those brushes do come in two sizes too. So if you think that the bigger brushes are just too big, then maybe the smaller brushes are more your style and more your speed. All right, so let's bring this all together here so we can finish up our card. We have everything ready. We're going to put on these little, almost looks like arrows, right? So you can kind of decide, do you want them to go kind of facing up or facing down? I like them facing down, so that's how I put them on my card. And if you like the yellow, fans of yellow out there, maybe you're thinking this pink card needs a little bit of yellow in it. You can definitely add that in too. So I'm just going to put this on here. I don't have a rhyme or reason. I can see that on this card I'm doing with you here, it's a little bit higher, here it's a little bit lower. It doesn't matter. It's going to look great either way. So we're going to bring in some dimensionals now, and we're going to add in our ice cream. So I put the ice cream up on a little lift. We're lifting our ice cream up, and I'm just using some random, really random kind of, I think I've got 5 on here, big dimensionals, which I tend to use the big ones more often. I don't know about you, if you like the bigger ones or the smaller ones. So we're going to bring this guy in over here. We're going to put him right about here, I think. Maybe I'll bring him down just a smidge. Oh, and I see that he's going on crooked. This must be a crooked day. Okay, there, we're going to go with that. We're going to put, actually now it looks like it's crooked the other way. Okay, we're just going to make this happen here. Now to put on my ice cream scoop, which is super cute, I'm going to actually just put some dimensionals up here. I'm not going to try to figure out how high up they need to go on this piece before they hit this piece, because I've got this piece is already lifted up. So I'm just going to take these ones off the back. The backing off is what I should say. I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive down here at the bottom, because I know the bottom is going to come down quite some ways here. We have a wayward backing on the field. We're going to remove that. All right, so we're going to bring this in now, and this is going to kind of come down quite a bit. So we're covering up a lot of the cone here. This is a really big cone, just so you know. This is kind of I should say it's a big scoop of ice cream. The cone, not so big. The ice cream is huge, it's ginormous. So hopefully you guys are loving this. Hi, Flo. Oh, Patty likes strawberry. I'm looking at mint chocolate. Jess, you're gonna love card number 2. Oh my gosh, Lori's got tons of ice creams that she loves. That's awesome. Okay, I had to pop over really quickly and check it out. I'm gonna get rid of this wonky straw that I did earlier. And I'm going to bring in a nicer straw, and we're going to bring the straw in, and I'm just going to glue a little bit here. I'm not gluing the very top of this, because the top of this is going to hang off, and I don't want this to stick in an odd kind of way. So I'm just going to pop this in here, kind of line that up so that it hits about the corner here of my collection of papers. And then we're going to just glue down our little strawberries here, kind of covering where the straw would, or the candy cookie thing would go in, whichever you want to call it, right? We're going to just kind of layer these kind of crisscrossing little berries. Now, of course, you can always add in more than 2 berries, right? You could put another, this would be cute with a 3rd berry on the bottom. I just thought of that. I think of things as I go, and that's the fun in being creative, right? So as you start going and working on things, maybe you're like, oh, I could do this and I could do this. And that's just really just makes it so much more fun. All right, so again, I've put my dimensionals here on my card base. And then I'm going to layer my sentiment piece over top. So you can choose to see how high up or down you want it to go. And I'm going to have it so that it kind of a little bit over the designer series paper, but it's just really cute there. It kind of fills in that spot really, really nicely, I think. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some bling to this card. Now, the bling, of course, is your free bling. This is the Rainbow Adhesive Backed Dots, and you could go crazy. We had a card class, an in-person class, couple of Saturdays ago, and we made ice cream cards then, and I forgot to pull out my card, but we were just using all color dots in every ice cream, and it was a lot of fun. If you were at my class, you know what I'm talking about, right? I handed out the dots and I said, go. You guys were like, yes, we will. So for this card, I decided that since I've just really focused on the bubble bath, that I'm only going to choose the bubble bath. And because I don't want to take away from the strawberries and the ice cream, I'm not actually adding my bling onto the ice cream, although you certainly could. I just chose to put mine on the card just like this, and I hope your day is sweet, especially since you're watching and hanging out with me. I hope that you like this first card. So there's card number 1, and oh, I have an extra berry, right? So this is where I'd be like, maybe we could stick another berry like right over there. I probably would put that right there. If I was going to change it up, I'd probably put that there. Of course, also the berry would be really cute on the inside too. So these are things you can think about when you're playing with your card kits as well. You can create and continue to have fun just like that. So there we go. Card number 1 is done. Kathy, I'm glad you're having a good time. Woohoo! All right, we're going to move on to card number 2. Now, Jess happened to mention that she likes chocolate chip ice cream, or mint chip ice cream. Mint chocolate chip, mint chip. I'm getting them all confused, but I want you to know that card number 2 is right in the right direction. So I hope that you want mint chocolate chip ice cream now. So this is our Yum Yum card, and I think this one is really fun and sweet too. So I'm taking advantage of chocolate this time, and I've got early espresso. This is our chocolatiest chocolate, right? So I pulled out early espresso, and I think early espresso goes really nicely with Pool Party. And of course, a little bit of purple, because right, you can't go wrong adding a little bit of purple. Nothing wrong with that. So this is going to be our second card. I'm going to pull things apart for our card kit, and I'll talk to you just about how everything comes. So you're getting some die cut pieces. You're getting some punched pieces. Now these are retired punches, and sometimes I use my retired, especially the circle punches. I absolutely adore them. So we've got some glimmer paper here. So it's got a little bit of a sheen to it. So you can see that in our ice cream here as well. There's a lot to this card. I have a hard time refraining myself from adding things to cards. Now, if you get these kits at home and you have excellent restraint, and you're like, whoa, way too much stuff, don't need all that on one card, then please feel free to use all of these parts and pieces on more than just the card kits, the card bases that I'm sending to you. So I took advantage of the Painted Textures embossing folder because I felt like, and I don't know if the light is going to pick this up or not, I felt like this reminded me of like a nice slab of chocolate bark, maybe some fudge. I talk a lot about sweets and foods and chocolates because that's like my jam. So that's what this reminded me of. So let's put together the kind of the bones of the card so you can see, again, lots of layers. You can choose which side of this embossed or debossed piece you want to use. This is just going to layer here on Pool Party. So again, lots of layers. And if you are not a fan of layers, you get hold of my card kits, you might become a fan of layers. It's really easy to add color and add texture and add all of the different depths to our cards that make them so over the top wow, right? So I've got the Pool Party here is, again, our little bright of pop color here, a little bit of lightening from all of the dark browns so that the card doesn't feel as heavy. So we've got that cute little brown going on there. And then we have this really sweet little, I love the Scallop Contours die. So we've got this piece and we've got this piece. So these are some of the bones of your card, and you could definitely, continue to create with this if you're not making ice cream. Now I want to point out something that's really fun about this one happens to be that you could use the purple side if you wanted to. There is purple in this card. I've chosen this designer series paper from the hot air balloon paper pack, and it's creating this cute little wrapper for our I'm calling this a chocolate cone, like a chocolate dipped cone. So I've got this on here. So there is some more purple in this card. You could definitely work in the purple designer series paper if you had a mind to. So you can kind of see here already it's really cute together. Now we are going to be doing some great die cutting with some of these things. This one is a very die cut heavy card. There's really not a lot of stamping on this one. We're going to stamp on this on the white. That's basically what we're stamping on. We only need one color of ink for this one. We're going to bring in Fresh Freesia, and we are going to use 2 stamps. We've got the little sprinkly stamp and we've got the Yum Yum stamp. So I'm going to choose the smallest circle, which happens to be white, right? And this little Yum Yum is going to fit right in the middle. Again, photopolymer stamps, so you can see exactly where you're stamping through. So I'll glue that together in a little bit here, and then we're going to go ahead and add some sprinkles down one side of this white scalloped die cut piece. So I'm going to go ahead and start at the very top and the very outside edge, And I'm just going to come on down with my sprinkles. And you can get 4 on here. So 4 stamps down of sprinkles, and I'm not really overlapping them. Some of them wound up kind of close together, but I kept them kind of in a tight formation coming right down just like that. And that is our stamping. So when we put this together, there may be more purple involved because I feel like purple could be a thing. Meanwhile, we've got a whole bunch of die cutting to do. So let's bring that machine back in and we're going to do our die cutting so you can see how this one's going to go together. This one is super simple and super easy. We're going to be done with this one in a flash. We don't want our ice cream to melt here while we're, you know, there's no time for that, right? So I'm going to go ahead and layer on my pieces here onto my matting. So we're going to use the big open ice cream swirl die, and that's going to go on the pool party paper. This more detailed swirly die is going to go on the glimmer paper. So we're going to do these 2 first. I'm just going to go ahead and die cut these. Now you're not getting these die cut pieces at home, so you would have to have the ice cream bundle, or you'd have to purchase the ice cream bundle if you wanted to create these cards just the same way. But again, you can swap in other items if you choose to. So here is our ice cream scoop, and then here is our swirly paper. Now because this has a little bit more texture to it, the back of it is white and it's got that glimmer paper to it. It's a little bit thicker. So when you work with this paper, you do have to kind of make these little swirly pieces decide that they want to come out. Now they come out pretty easily. So you can pop these out of here. And what's fun about these pieces is if you really wanted to do these in a couple of different colors, you could mix and match and puzzle piece back your die cuts, and you could have 2 different colors here, and then that would go over top of here. So all you would see is the outline rather than the background color that we're using. So if you really wanted to, you could save these little die cut pieces and puzzle piece them right back in to another set of die cuts. Meanwhile, we are going to continue die cutting because we're not quite done yet. This card has a lot of die cuts for it. So we're going to bring in our cone. And this time we're going to bring in the detailed piece that fits inside the cone, because I want this detail on the bottom of the cone. So I'm not stamping the cone this time. I'm using these 2 together so they fit in here just like this. I'm going to line them up and I'm actually going to tape them down together. So I have a little bit of mint tape. You can use washi tape. You could use Post-it notes. That's going to help to keep that together. I'm actually going to just go ahead and send this through first. And then we'll do one more round of die cutting. So let's take a look here at the cone. So this is what we get when we use the texture die. So hopefully you can see this. So it's got the little crisscrosses in it. It actually is a little bit see-through. So again, we've got this piece that we'll cut away, but this gives us kind of a nice little bit of detail here by using this extra little piece here with our ice cream cone. I saved my tape and I'll use it again. That's good for quite a few uses before I'm gonna be done with it. And then I'm gonna come back through one more time. We have one more round of die cutting. Wow, a lot of die cutting on this one. We're gonna do our little wrapper for the ice cream cone, and we're gonna do our chocolatey sprinkles. So this is going to go on this. So you've got a couple of dies right here, and this will be our 3rd round through the machine. And then we'll be all set with our die cuts. And we'll be on to the final assembly here for this one. Now the wrapper paper, you could do this in any designer series paper. You could do it in plain paper if you wanted to. And here's all of our little sprinkles. So the sprinkles are left here on, they're kind of down here. They're staticking around in my craft room right now. If you see them like flying in the air and popping to the side, really it's static because it's just super dry right now with winter, and heating with the wood stove is wonderful. I absolutely love it, but it definitely makes the house kind of dry and staticky, and I love it in my craft room now because dry is best. I definitely don't like it when it gets humid. All right, so we have been playing with the dies here quite a bit. We're going to come through now and we're going to snip off the top of this ice cream cone right on the crease. So we just have this nice little ice cream cone left over. And let me bring in all of the parts and pieces, and we're going to get to work here on finishing up our card. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down now. I just have this set on top of here. I'm just going to put some glue along the larger pieces of this swirly section that's glittery and, you know, extra frosty looking. And we're going to just put this right on top of the center of the Pool Party ice cream scoop. Now, Pool Party is really not a normal ice cream color, I guess. Maybe this is supposed to be cotton candy flavored. I don't go for those, like, those fruity flavors. I'm not really a fruity flavor sweet girl. I mean, give me the chocolate stuff, right? But we're going to make this mint chocolate chip, and we're going to do it by adding in all these little pieces right here. I'm just going to go ahead and start gluing little spots here, wherever I think I might want to start adding some of these in. And I'm going to pick them up with my the dauber end, or not the dauber end, the putty end of the Take Your Pick tool. I just got to make sure they're going in the right direction here. And I'm just going to pop them down here on top of the glue. I'll do a few of these here real quick so you can see the chips going in. So this is how we chip it up. Now, if you wanted to, you could use the adhesive paper on the back of this die cut, but you are going to have to be peeling off, and it's going to be kind of, I think that's almost probably going to be more work to peel the backs off of those. I feel like this might be the way to go. Just picking them up with your putty tool, throwing them on there wherever there's a little bit of glue. The trick is to keep them on there and not have them pop back up with you when you pick up your fingers. That one's going to go right there. So you get the idea here of how this is going to work out. I'm going to just put a couple more down here, and then we're going to call it good for this one. I'm not going to do the itty bitty ones right now. I did on my original card. I have every little piece of chips, if you will, or sprinkles that came off of that early espresso paper. I did them all. So I wanted to show you that you can, even the itty bitty ones, because there are some smaller sprinkles right here. There's some four of them that are like really kind of tiny, but they do look really cute, right? So that you get the idea of how they're going to go on here, just like that. And we can put our fancy paper here onto the ice cream cone itself as well. So just go ahead and layer that on there. And now you can hold it and you won't get the, you know, all the drippy ice cream coming down your cone. Super cute, right? All right, so we have to make a decision here. I'll probably put these on later. I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably gonna set those aside and play with those later. Purple paper, purple paper, blue paper, purple paper, blue paper, purple paper, blue paper. They do look good enough to eat. Sandra wants to know the name of the embossing folder that I'm using for this one. Sandra, is the Painted Textures, I think it's called. Did I pull that out? Did I pull that out? I'm looking through my pile of stuff. I don't think I pulled out okay, fun note. I don't know if you can see this or not. I'm going to kind of flip through here. This is how I keep my embossing folders, my current embossing folders. Painted Textures, I believe, is what that was called. That was a 4x6 incher. So these are all my 4x6 inchers here at the beginning, and we're just taking a side field trip here. Painted Texture 3D embossing folder. So this is the Painted Texture, so you can kind of see the texture here, and that is just, it's a really great one for guide cards. And you know what's, Sandra, I'm glad you asked, because this is really interesting. This is one that's kind of older in the Stampin' Up! World. It doesn't have the black line that you normally see on the embossing folders, and I have a feeling that this one will be retiring soon. So if anybody's interested in getting this, I would grab it before it hits the retiring list. So you can, hopefully you can see here, there's a little tiny, like a black line here, right through the Stampin' Up! Logo that helps you line up your paper straight. This is the folder we're using on the next card. But this one doesn't have that line, so I have a feeling this one's going to be going away when the retirement list comes out next month or so. So Painted Texture, really great folder. I love embossing folders. Okay, so now back to purple or blue. I just wanted to give you guys an idea. Purple, you guys are all saying purple, and Sandra, you're so welcome. Okay, we're going with purple. We're doing it. So I'm going to glue down this side, and we're going to keep the purple side up, and I think I want my scallops to go this way. So this is going to kind of come through here and just kind of cover the stitching just slightly. I was trying to get it under the stitching, but you get the idea. There is the purple. And that looks really pretty, doesn't it? Kind of almost a little Eastery. We're going to be getting there soon, I think. All right, so here we go. So we've got the purple side. I hope you guys are loving the purple side. It's going to be totally different, still very, very beautiful. We're going to bring in dimensionals one more time, and we're going to pop up our ice cream cone. I probably could have grabbed out my black dimensionals, but I just, again, kind of grabbing what I've got here at the top, which is the white ones. So just kind of a random splattering of dimensionals on here. And we're going to put this on our card front. And we're going to kind of split the difference between the paper and the stamping. And I want the little scallops at the bottom to show. Now here's what's kind of fun about this. If you're looking for the middle of this one, if you keep 3 scallops here, hit these 3 scallops for your cone, you'll have 3 scallops over here. So this is really nice to kind of help you line up. I mean, like, I didn't even plan it that way. I was just looking to see, when I was making this card earlier, how this was going to line up. And I discovered that the scallops are like, they're just super friendly for that. All right, once again, just like I did on my first card, a little bit of glue on the bottom, 3 dimensionals on my card base rather than on the back of my ice cream scoop. Mint chocolate chip. This is just so refreshing. Like, this is the card. Now I'm at the card where I'm like, I would like some ice cream, please. So we're going to pop this on here, just like so, kind of bringing the top of this right up here to the top of the pool party. And look how cute. We're going to glue together our little Yum Yum sentiment piece to this cute little fresh freesia circle. And very similarly, we're going to bring in our dimensionals, and I'm going to put them right over here. I'm going to fit 2 of them kind of snug together. And then I'm going to take advantage of the dimensionals here and kind of line that up just so that it's off to the side here. Not covering my cone too much, but you know, part and parcel here of the whole design, right? So there we have the Yum Yum card. Now the only thing it's missing really, of course, is some more chocolate chips, which I'll probably throw in, and then our bling. Now for this one, because I went with the fresh freesia color, I chose to use the purple bling, which I think is really, really cute. I put it on, as you can see here. I didn't mix it into the cone. I could have, or into the ice cream. I could have, for sure. I could have mixed in any of these darker colors too. I really like the purple though. On the cone, it just kind of breaks up this dark color right here. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to add those in there. I think I have room to squeak in this third one, right like so. Just kind of gives it a different little look. I like to play with my embellishments a little bit. Now, if you have these at home and you want to put purple and blue embellishments, both of these blues would work inside this cone as well. Maybe you don't want to do the little chocolate chips. Maybe you just want to do sprinkles instead, right? So that is an option. And that is card number 2. So I hope that you like the purpley version. So now we've got 2 versions here, right? I guess I should lift them up here. Let me just flip over one more time. I flip my computer back and forth between what I can see and then trying to read your comments. So I want to make sure when I show you the cards, then you can see them like kind of up higher. So we've got the purpley on the right and the blue on the left. And I think the purple was a really good choice. I feel like it shows up better. The blue kind of gets washed here a little bit. So I love that you guys are helping me make decisions on these cards. It's so nice. So thank you for that great advice. Purple was the right choice. You guys are so smart. I love that part of our of our time together too. Like that you guys are just right here with me doing it. All right, we're on to our last card. We got one more. We got one more card kit. The strawberry. Now, if the first one was vanilla and the second card was chocolate, we're on to the strawberry version. So we've got 2 card bases in Melon Mambo. Super bright, fun color. Feeling this one right now for sure. Now, I'm also mixing in some balmy blue. We've got some really cute fruit stripe gum paper. Now, the back of this is hot air balloons, so you really do probably want to use the stripes for this one. And we're going to talk a little bit about all of these papers that are coming with and what we're going to be doing with these ones. Now, as mentioned earlier, I do have a different embossing folder. You're getting a die cut here. This is from the Thoughtful Expressions dies, which I love. I've been using these quite a bit, so you're getting a really nice die cut right there. This one right here, and I don't know if you can see it or not, this is the hybrid. It's a hybrid. It's a doily, delightful doily hybrid embossing folder. There are dies. There is a die that cuts out the doily as well. Now I thought of doily kind of because it, you know, it could be something that you would use behind food items, right? Like a little white, a little doily. Plus I had this image that I thought was kind of rounded and it's got the scallops, and so I felt like these kind of went together. So this is the delightful doily hybrid embossing folder. All I am sending you is the emboss piece. So you're getting an emboss piece, and it is a lot of fun. It might be hard to see this in the light. Let me bring in my sample. This one is called Make-A-Wish, and who wouldn't want this delicious looking scoop of ice cream? I think this one is my favorite, so I want to know if you think this is your favorite or if one of the others was your favorite instead. So we're going to do something a little different here. Instead of a cone, we're going to use the top of the cone as a bowl. So this looks more like a dish, and then I'm going to show you how to color this and make a really cool kind of swirly ice cream. So we do have this great delightful doily embossed piece as our base here. I'm just checking real quick again, making sure everything's good. And thanks, Flo. I'm glad that you like the purple too. Yes, Sandra, yum, indeed. Oh my gosh, this is so awesome. All right, so let's get going on this one so we can see what we need to start with. So I'm trying to decide what I want to start with. This is going to be Make-A-Wish. So we've got our little white square right here. For colors of ink, I'm using Melon Mambo and Balmy Blue. And I have a lot of blends for this one because you can see there's a lot of coloring that goes on for this one. So we've got the cherries, we've got these cute little cookie treats, we have, and the ice cream. So I've got cherry cobbler, I've got melon mambo, I've got an old olive, a daffodil delight, and then I have 3 colors for the ice cream. I have, these are in, Stampin' Up sells them like light, medium, dark, all kinds of different names, but I have 200, 400, and 900. So if you have them at home and you just, because they don't have them listed as anything other than the numbers right now. So these are the numbers that I'm using for the ice cream. And I'm going to show you how I created this really awesome ice cream swirl. But first, let's do a little stamping. We're going to do our sentiment in Melon Mambo ink. And this is Make-A-Wish. And we're going to stamp it on this little square. So this is going to make the most sense. When you get this at home, you've got a little square. You're going to be like, oh, Make-A-Wish fits on here. And I really like the playful font here. We are going to be trimming this up. So we are not going to leave this as it looks right now. So we're going to be changing that up quite extensively. Now on this piece right here, for the rest of this card, our stamping is actually going to be done on the white pieces with Memento ink. Now I need to bring in my big swirly ice cream stamp, and I need to get that washed out because we stamped this last in pecan pie, and I do want to get all of the pecan pie ink off before I put this into my Memento ink. So we're gonna just get rid of that with the chamois. And if you watch Stamper School, I think I was talking about the chamois this week. Pretty sure I was. Sometimes I forget which episode I was just on, but I think I had the chamois. I think I was talking about cleaning. I can't remember. Now I can't remember. It all blends together. All right, so we've got Memento ink, and this is going to go on this piece of white right here. And you may think, why on earth would you make ice cream with a black outline? Like it seems odd at first, right? When you first do it, it seems a little strange. All right, I'm looking for cherries and cookies. So we're going to do 2 cherries on here. So we're going to get this piece over here. You're going to do 2 of these. I'm going to call them cookies, for lack of better understanding and knowledge. Okay, so now we've got all those, so there's going to be quite a bit of coloring that we're going to be doing. And we are going to also be doing some die cutting, but not all the die cutting that you think. So let me move some things aside so that we can die cut our bowl. What we're going to do first, we're going to die cut we're going to make our ice cream cone into a ice cream bowl. Now in the catalog, if you've checked out the catalog, right, maybe you've looked at some of the different designs, Stampin' Up actually has this kind of a bowl in one of their samples. So they do have that as an actual an option. And they filled their bowl with the cookies and the fruit, and it is really cute. They didn't even use the ice cream. So there is lots of ideas out there with this set is kind of where I'm going with that. So I'm going to bring in my tape again. I'm doing the same thing that we did for our chocolate cone, and I'm using the outside shape and I'm using the detailed inner shape. Doesn't matter which side that you put the inner die on, it will fit either one because they go in kind of the same direction, right? All right, so here's our, look, here's our bowl. It looks kind of like an ice cream cone, right? So far, it looks a little bit like an ice cream cone. So I'm gonna take these back apart and we're gonna get working on making a bowl out of this. So you're going to see that we're going to be trimming it a little bit. Now again, there's this kind of scored line right here. We're just going to come across the top of that. It's nice and straight, little indentation. There's the top of our bowl, just like that. For the bottom of the bowl, you're just going to come underneath this third line and you're going to cut straight across. And now we have our little bowl. How easy was that, right? So basically just cutting away the extra pieces that we don't need. And then we're going to bring in our balmy blue if we can find it, and a dauber. And we're going to make our blue bowl a little bit darker on the outside edges. So we're just going to add some dimension here, some depth to it. Kind of draws the eye into the bowl a little bit so it doesn't look quite so flat. There we go. Just like that. That's all we need to do. Well, no, I'm just kidding. We were going to do the top too, because we're actually tucking the ice cream inside rather than have it hang over the top. So you could definitely go along the top edge here too. So there's our little bowl, just like that. Isn't that cute? Who knew? Who knew? I love when you can take different shapes and create different things with them. Now we're going to talk about this ice cream right here. Now you're going to see, if I were to put this in the bowl, you're going to see that it's ginormous. Like this is like a monster scoop, right? We're going to make this a little bit smaller. So this is how you're going to make a mini cone. Now, if you wanted to do a whole mini cone, you could keep your cone whole, but just change the size of your ice cream. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in right here and we're going to take advantage of the swirly line. Like, which swirly line do we want? We probably want this one right here. And there's no right or wrong here, right? We're just going to trim away some ice cream. So we just made a shorter scoop here. So we basically cut away 1, 2, 3, 4 little sections here. If you're looking at it that way, and you're like, which ones again? So 4 from the bottom, just cut those right away. And rather than getting out the die, I mean, you could definitely do the die as well, but this is not too hard to just kind of continue to fussy cut around. And then we're going to color this. This is going to be, the magic on this one is the coloring. Now you could, look how cute. So you see it now, it's a smaller scoop. It fits a little bit better into our dish. Rather than the big ice cream scoop like we had on, well, like on this card right here. So you can see the difference here in size, right? It's kind of chopping it in half. This is 1 scoop serving. This is like 2 scoop servings, if we're counting. Who counts the servings of ice cream? Seriously, I don't know why they put that information anywhere. Okay, let's bring in, while we're playing with our scissors here, let's bring in the Make-A-Wish real quick. We're going to actually trim this down as well. So this is going to fit onto our little thoughtful expression die, and I'm just going to kind of cut around. Some of it I'm doing more formed, some of it I'm keeping more square, and the only reason I rounded some of it is it actually fits a little bit better into this Make-A-Wish. So we're going to just cut these apart. Now, of course, the A is the tiniest because it's just a single little letter here, right? So there's our A, make A. Now, I did on my first sample, which is hidden because I used the other side of it, I did stamp Make-A-Wish. So you could stamp Make-A-Wish too. But when you cut the words apart, the sentiment apart, and you have individual words, you can manipulate them way better, obviously, right, than how it comes on the actual stamped image. So this worked out kind of nicer. I would have to say, I would highly recommend just going ahead and just kind of fussy cutting those. And then we're actually gonna glue these on because we do need to take advantage of the side over here for those. Now I kept this as the top, rather than this is the top. So you can see as you turn it, you either have a bigger scallop or you have a littler scallop. I like the big at the top, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. Now I'm going to put wish down first, and I'm working kind of backwards on purpose. My glue's setting up here a little bit on me because I want wish to be right here in the middle at the 3 o'clock position, and I want this to be as snug as possible to the side because I want my ice cream's got to fit. There's a lot of ice cream there. So I started with wish and then I worked my way up, if that makes sense, because I felt like if I went the opposite way, then my words might not fit properly. And you know how words need to fit properly. Okay, now I have glue like everywhere on my fingers. All right, we're going to try to squeeze this little A in here. Make A. And now I can put my make in there. So again, kind of taking advantage of these little scallop edges to squish the words into, and super cute. So by rounding the paper, the white paper, even though the E is where it is, right? So by rounding it, I was able to fit it in there, make a wish, just like that. So that was not too difficult. Hopefully you're like, yeah, that wasn't too difficult. Now let's do some coloring. Now you guys all know, if you know me, coloring is not my favorite, but I hope that you really enjoy how I've colored this, and I can't wait to share with you. All right, so for our 2 little cookies and our cherries, I'm just going to show you really briefly. For the cherries, I started with the light cherry and colored the whole thing in really quickly because I'm a kind of a quick colorer. I don't like to take too much time coloring. It's not really my favorite thing, right? So just a quick splash of the lighter version of the cherry cobbler. Now I'm going to use the darker version, and I'm just going to kind of come along this side where this little line is. So you see a black line right here, right there, there's a black line. So I just deepened that down like that, and I'm going to do the same thing right here where this line is where the where the stem meets. That's all I'm doing. Just a little bit of those 2 colors. And I did bring in the, I think this is dark old olive. I did the stem. Okay, so that is the coloring for the cherry. Cherry's done. Okay. Cherry's done, and when it's done, it looks like something that I had somewhere. I know I had everything die cut and ready to go. Oh, here they are. Okay, here they are. So when the cherry comes out, super cute, right? Loving the cherries. Now for the little cookies, I'm using Melon Mambo. I've got the dark, nope, let's make this the light. I've got the light Melon Mambo and the light Daffodil. I'm just going to kind of show you that there are lines here. So there's kind of like, almost like a beach ball, right? So there's like 3 sections that you can do of one color on one, and then color the opposite. And then on this one, I kind of did the opposite, right? So I did the 2 middle sections in the Melon Mambo, and then I did the opposite ends in the Daffodil. I'm not going to take all the time in the world to color those because you guys obviously can see the finished product here. So you can see where I've chosen to kind of switch it up a little bit so that there's more melon. There's 3 things of melon here. There's 2 Melon Mambos, and then vice versa with the Daffodil Delight. So that gives you these cute little cookie looks, right? So we've got those. I die cut those. There's 1 cherry die and there's 1 cookie die. So you would have to run those through twice, but you have enough paper in your kit to get those stamped and all set. So let's set these apart. I wanted to point out that this one has a white surround. This one has less of a white surround because I trimmed it. I didn't die cut it well, so I hand trimmed it. So if you don't like the surround, you can do what we did with the strawberry card where we colored it, or you can just use scissors and trim. So those are some of your options there. But I know what you're waiting for is how in the heck did I color the chocolatey swirled ice cream, right? So this is the mystery. Let's talk about the fun coloring here, because this is the best part right here of the card, and then we'll assemble it quickly because we are getting close to an hour in. So I've got this SU 900, and I don't use the brush end often. I want to say that I don't use the brush end often, but I did use it here, and I am using it sideways, so I'm not pointing it down. I'm using it kind of sideways, and I'm just pushing on this color everywhere. So again, I like to be a fast colorer because I just don't have a lot of patience to color. I know there are people out there that tell me stories about people that they know or they'd love to color. It's just so relaxing. And I'm like, yes, what's next? Okay, moving on. So there is our swab of color. just using the brush end nicely. Okay, now I'm going to bring in the darkest color. This is the 200, and this time I'm going to use, as I'm going now, I'm just going to use the kind of nib end, and I'm going to, again, quickly, not taking too much time here, just kind of come through, and I'm bringing in my deep chocolate swath. So I'm just going kind of every other one here. You can choose to do however you want. Now you could do this rainbow colored if you wanted to, but I'm showing you this kind of cool chocolatey look here. This nice swirly, maybe it's caramel, maybe it's coffee. Pick your favorite, right? Okay, so there's 2. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to do this third one right here. Squeaky coloring, there we go. Okay, so there's 3. Boom, boom, boom. Now you're going to see those are just 2 flat colors. They look totally different one from the next. Totally different, right? Because we have to add in our third color, and we're going to do some blending. So we're going to bring in our third color now. This is the 400. Again, I'm going to use the nib end, and I'm just going to come underneath the dark chocolate. I'm coming on this bottom side, and I'm just kind of making a line or so, maybe a couple lines thick. Nothing specific, but I'm kind of straightening it out if it looks a little wonky or crooked. So hopefully you can see this extra line of this third color coming in. I'm going to do one more down here under this other dark right here. Now the reason I'm doing it this way, this is because normally when you get your blends, you get a light and a dark, and you can blend them really easily because there's very little difference between the 2 colors, so they're very easy to blend. When you're blending colors that are completely different, like these are really different tones, you need to do some serious blending, right? So I'm going to come back in now. This is the first one that we started out with. This is the 900 using the nib end. Now this time I'm basically going to just focus on wherever that little line between the medium and the light, and I'm just kind of scribbling all the way down through. And this is really going to be my blending area. So hopefully I'm going to do some of this. I know my camera doesn't focus well, but if it ever does, and if you can see this, you're going to see that it's softened up the dark line, but it's also given us kind of like, now we have almost like 4 colors coming in here rather than just 3 solid images. So the same thing again, I'm just going to scribble here along the edge of that medium color, and then right down here at the bottom. So I'm not going too far over into the light color, and that kind of blends those colors in, kind of helps them to, like, it's almost like they're kind of watercoloring into each other is the look that we're getting here. So hopefully you can see that it just really adds almost like a textured look to it. I think it's really kind of cool. So that is how I created this ice cream scoop using some really interesting colors, right? So something totally different. All right, guys, we are on to final assembly. I know I'm running a little long. This was kind of like a lot going on here. So let's just put our card together pretty quickly. This is not going to take too long at all. We're going to add in our designer series paper first. So we've got the pretty stripy paper coming up onto the front here. And this is going to fit side to side on your embossed piece of Melon Mambo. And then I'm going to add in this nice little piece of balmy blue here, just to break up some of our pinks. And then it also kind of, it gives our blue bowl a little bit more of a natural look because we have this color on our card base somewhere else besides just a blue bowl. Oh, like we don't want a random blue bowl, right? I just love the scallops on there. That's really cute. Okay, so we're gonna bring in this next. We're gonna glue down flat this nice scallop piece that you're getting this die cut already, right? So you're getting this one. I'm going to choose to keep kind of like my 3 o'clock here right on the middle of my little blue piece that goes across there, if you will. All right, next what we're going to do is, no, we're going to continue gluing. I think it'll be easier to glue this. I did put dimensionals on this, and I don't want to quite put that on yet. Let's bring in our ice cream because this needs to go down. Now I'm going to kind of focus on just gluing the middle and popping this on here so that it kind of comes up to the top of my die cut and it doesn't overrun the words because I want my words to be, you know, kind of important. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing here with our little bowl or our dish. We're going to come down through here, So this comes over top of the ice cream, so the ice cream doesn't look like it's dripping out, right? So we're going to just pop our bowl right like so. We're going to take one of these cute little cookies that we had colored and die cut. Now I'm only putting a little bit of adhesive on the bottom, and because I didn't glue my ice cream down super flat, I can lift this up and I can tuck that cookie behind there. So I'm tucking that behind, and I'm going to pop a cherry on over here, kind of to bridge the distance here. So we got a little cherry there. And we're going to just go ahead and pop one of these down here. Now this time I can put glue all the way around, just obviously not where the hole is. And we're going to put this down here off to the side. You do want to keep in mind that there is a hole, so if you put it too far over, it looks kind of funny if there's blue behind the hole. So I kept it so that there was just white behind that hole. And then we're going to just glue this other little cherry down, just like so. Isn't this the cutest? I love this card. Okay, so now dimensionals for the back. We're going to pop some dimensionals on the back. I'm just going to flip over here real quickly, make sure. Sandra loves the color. I love it. Okay, good job. We are going to get some dimensionals on the back of this. So this is the only item that is lifted up on this card. I think I'm going to be a little bit heavier too. There's a lot going on this card, so I'm going to just go ahead and be kind of generous with my dimensionals. It's got a lot of weight to hold up here. Paper can get a little heavy. As I know, as I weigh all the card kits that I mail to you, as they get weighed, I'm like, ooh, there's some weight to that paper. Oh, I let go before I wanted to. Okay, we're going to bring this back up again, and now I'm going to try to center this a little bit better here onto the front of my card. So again, this is tone on tone. One of my favorite ways to be forgiving. If it's a little bit high, a little bit crooked or whatever, you're not really going to notice it too much. So tone on tone is the way to go if you're feeling like it's hard to get things going in the right direction. Now I chose to use some yellow. I did put a little bit here in my ice cream and one down here. So I chose that, but I think I'm going to change it up. I think I'm going to go with the darker blue this time. So we're going to give the darker blue a little bit of love. We're going to try that and see how that looks. If I can get this on my spatula over here. We'll put a couple of them up here, I think. A couple of them over here. So something just a little bit different, right? To kind of change it up a little bit. I think I like the blue better. So the blue just kind of pops a little bit here too, right? The yellow kind of fades in. There's a lot of yellow in the card here, but these are the cards. So you've got this really cute Make-A-Wish. We have the mint chip Yum Yums with the purple. We like the purple better. I'm glad you guys all like the purple better. And then we have Hope Your Day is Sweet. So this is a really sweet card class. I hope that you are loving how delicious this one turned out. And I'd also love to know which of these cards is your favorite. I mean, they are super cute to look at. I would love to know which of these cards was your favorite from today, because this is a really fun. Oh, Jess says the mint chocolate chip cone. Of course, because you love mint chocolate chips. This is a good set, Sandra. I really like this one. This is a lot of fun. I will be sharing on Thursday during Fun Fold Day. We're going to do the cone. We're going to make the cone open as it's intended to. So we're going to use the full set of the full size of the cone and make that into a fun card. So we're going to have a Fun Fold Day. So there we go. Oh, you guys are loving the mint chocolate chip. I was wondering about that one. That one is such a dark and heavy, like brown color that I wasn't sure. I mean, the other ones obviously have so much fun pink in them. I thought for sure you guys would be going for the pinks and maybe even the lighter browns, but I'm glad you like the mint chocolate chip card. That's awesome. So I did go long today. I apologize. I did want to share that really cool coloring of the ice cream. I am excited to play with this even more. There's going to be a color swap, so one of these cards will have a color swap over on Positive Paper Crafters on Wednesday. Thursday I'll be back at 3 with a fun fold card. If you have any questions, please leave them here. I will go back through and read your comments at the end and get back to you if you have any questions. So thank you so much for joining me for this extra long class. It was extra fun too. I hope you all want to go eat a bowl of ice cream right now. All right, that's it for me. Thank you so much for hanging out. And until next time, stay inspired, create something beautiful, and share the love. Bye, everybody.